Our discussion today is part of our global education program here at Holton Arms, and our topic is one that is near and dear to all of our hearts, and that is trash. Why trash? Because when we go outside of our own country, we often see differences and very visually the way trash is produced and handled. So we're going to delve a little bit deeper into the story of trash and help give us a little context as to why the differences and some of the possible solutions. Throughout our discussion, there will be trivia questions. There will be 10 of them, and no worries, they are multiple choice, which means everybody has a chance. So please get out a scrap of paper and something to write with. Our essential questions are listed on the screen, and in this video, we're going to discuss the first of those questions: what is trash? Trash is actually a man-made construct, or in the case of Holton Arms, of course, a woman-made construct. Trash does not exist in nature. In nature, we take the energy from the sun, and that energy is converted into the biomass of an autotroph through the process of photosynthesis. An herbivore or primary consumer then eats that autotroph, and they get their energy from that source. So the cow gets the energy from the grass and converts that matter into the cow's own biomass. The cow, of course, gives off waste. Now, I say waste, not trash, because what is waste for the cow is actually dinner for another organism, whether it be a dung beetle or a bacteria. All right, so bacteria, as you may know, are decomposers. They take that matter that was in the dung, and once they get their energy out of it, they recycle the matter and feed it back to the autotroph. So in nature, there's this cyclical loop. All right, there's no trash. It's sustainable. Okay, and this can go on for eternity. However, in human society, we operate a little bit differently. We extract the raw materials we need from the earth, and we cut down our forests, and we use these raw materials in the manufacturing process to produce our goods. All right, so we make things from these raw materials, which of course the consumer then purchases. Now, when the consumer is done with them, either because this product is worn out, or it's no longer usable, or perhaps it's just simply not in fashion anymore, there's something new and better, we throw this product out, or what's left of this product, as trash. This is not a sustainable system because it is linear. You notice there's no recycling of the matter, and if you think about it, at some point we're going to run out of raw materials because we're going to have extracted everything from our earth and converted it to trash. So this is not a sustainable situation. We're going to take a quick look at some of the highlights from the history of trash, beginning with the first trash dump. As early as 400 BC, we needed to have our first landfill. I think this is startling. Do you have any idea why all of a sudden we needed our first trash dump? If you said something about urbanization, you are correct. We went from being a hunting and gathering society for just making things meet, so to speak, getting our food for our basic daily needs. And once we settled down into an agricultural society where we had plenty of food, then all of a sudden we could pursue other endeavors, including the generation of trash. In 1894, we had a very local incident of NIMBY. Do you know what NIMBY is? An acronym? Any idea what it might stand for? Not in my backyard. That's correct. All right. So in 1894, the good old folks of Alexandria took offense, all right, to the fact that the citizens in Maryland and D.C. were putting their trash, their garbage, on these barges and floating them down the Potomac River past their neighborhoods. So they took to sinking them. So very early on, Americans have had this aversion to having trash in their own backyard. In 1948, we opened the first landfill, the largest landfill, in the United States and in the world, the Fresh Kills landfill. It covers 2,200 acres. Now, to put that in perspective, this is only one of 3 man-made objects that can be seen from space. Do you know what the other 2 might be? If you said the Great Wall of China or the Three Gorges Dam, you are correct. So now we've got such a problem with trash that we've created this humongous landfill. All right. In the 1950s, two different things coincided. The television came to the American living room, and with the television came media and commercials and advertising. This happened at the same time as the introduction of convenience foods. So all of a sudden, the typical American is being bombarded with messages about products they never even knew they needed. Of course, they didn't, but they were made to believe they did need them. Now, these convenience foods come with a lot of packaging, a lot of cardboard and plastic, and actually it used to be more like aluminum trays, that sort of thing. So now we've accelerated the generation of trash. The rate at which we are producing this waste has continued to be astronomically high to this day, and it began over 50, 60 years ago. This brings us to our first trash trivia question. Okay, so get out that piece of paper. Which U.S. state was the first to enact a mandatory recycling law in 1986? Okay, you can take a guess. You got your answer? Okay, and the answer is Rhode Island. The New England states were among the first to enact some of our first more sustainable environmental laws. As a matter of fact, the one they're most known for is their bottle deposits, right? The 5 or 10 cents deposit on a glass bottle or aluminum can. And when you pay this deposit when you purchase that beverage, and then when you return the empty bottles, you get that money back. So they provided incentive for us to produce less trash. This is a good thing, and something that we should do more of today. But in 1986, that's when it began. This brings us to our last highlight from the history of trash, the fact that in 2001, the Fresh Kill landfill fills up. Okay, now this is significant because now all of a sudden, what is New York City going to do with its trash? It no longer has the space to bury it. So they have two options. They can incinerate it and burn it, which they do quite a bit of, but that can't handle the sheer volume of trash. So they actually cart it away in garbage trucks to other states. All right, the Pennsylvania is the leading recipient of trash, and the second leading recipient is right here in our own backyard, the state of Virginia. So our next trivia question is, how many full garbage trucks left New York City every single day in the year 2011? I'm not talking your little neighborhood trucks. I'm talking 18-wheelers. Just take a guess. And the answer is 330 trucks left New York City every single day.